talking fantasy football with my friends the other day.
Well, Josh?
Well. Look who's back. Where the hell have you been? At home, sitting in your asses?
Go away now, Josh.
Actually, my name is Alan. The dorky white kid with a Cub Scout bandana on his head.
Bravo.
Echo.
November.
Tango. On.
Football.
I really like this song, though.
I love this song.
All right. Welcome back to Bedtime Fantasy Football. I am Alan Bentley.
And I am Josh Worley.
And we are going to give you some fun and entertainment this week. So,
Did you see, by the way, when I was drinking that beer right before the show, I dribbled and I had to wipe my...
yeah, that figures.
Yeah.
You act like that never happens or something.
Well, all right, anyway.
Only once a show.
Yeah, only once a show. But anyway.
All right, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. A lot happening in the NFL this week. A lot of fantasy impact, too.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's jump right into our drinks.
Okay. You want me to go first?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So this is pretty self-explanatory, guys, and we're going to get into this in just a little bit, so I'm not going to go into depth on this, but Fields did his part, and I think you guys know exactly where we're going with that.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that soon.
And I know there's going to be controversy about that because I've seen it already, but we'll talk more about that in just a minute. Along with those same lines, my beer this week, 0-16. That's right.
0-17.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 0-17. Wrong number. Here, where's that marker? Actually, get a hold of Worley Labels.
Yes, we'll reprint you another one.
Yes, okay, perfect.
Takes about 8 to 12 weeks to come, though.
Yeah. So we'll still be on pace. We're good.
Yeah.
All right, so that being said, I want the Bears to end up 0-16 this year. Why? Because they'll have the number 1 and number 2 draft pick, and I cannot wait to see what they trade that number 1 draft pick for again.
Yeah.
So, no, I do want to see them get that number 1 pick because it'll be interesting to see. The reason I want to see that is because I want to see Eberflus cringe and sweat just a little bit.
If they do get that number 1 draft pick and Fields is vastly improved this year, which we hope he is, they're going to get a lot of capital for that draft pick because Caleb Williams is a transcendent quarterback, guys.
All right, save it. We're gonna talk about that in just a minute. Let's get these beers open.
Let's get these beers open.
All right, guys, join us like you do every week. Sit back, pop open a cold one,
enjoy the show.
All right.
That Fields performance tastes delicious.
That 0-16 is going to be awesome all year. All right.
Why don't you put that in front of the camera so they can see it, Alan?
Okay. I'm left drink-handed. I'm not right drink-handed.
Well, you can still put it over here.
Okay.
They can still see it.
I can do that. All right.
All right. Whatever.
We're good. All right. So we don't need this anymore. Let's close this thing out.
All right.
So we want to talk about some injuries this week. There's been a lot of things. Oh, actually, you know what? Back up. Let's like, subscribe, and share.
Yes.
All right? Let's do that.
So you forgot it this week.
And you guys do it this week, okay? Like, subscribe, and share. Get us out there. Send us to your friends. Even if it's just a mean prank you're playing on them, send us to them. Maybe they'll like us. Maybe they won't, but maybe they'll subscribe and share too.
So I went into work the other day, and 2 people I was
Wait a minute. This is not your full-time job? You must be rich, man.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Worthy Labels. This?
Yeah, this.
Empire we built?
I mean, I make about, what, -300 a year probably that you do too on this show.
Close.
So
yeah. Close.
But I was walking into work, and 2 different people they were talking amongst themselves, and I walked by and they go, "Oh, we watched part 1 the other night," and the other guy goes, "Yeah, I did too." And I thought, well, that's awesome. So people are actually watching it because they want to watch it, not because.
Do you like the title of part 2? Did you see that? Did you?
I did, Alan. I did.
Okay.
I don't know if I liked it, but I felt it.
Just curious. All right. So let's talk about the injury updates. A lot of things going on with injuries this week.
Absolutely.
I think the biggest news that we're running into right now is going to be Jonathan Taylor. He's coming back off the PUP list. Today is Tuesday when we're recording this. He is supposed to be practicing tomorrow on Wednesday.
Yeah, and I don't know what kind of impact that's going to have. What are your thoughts? What is your advice to Jonathan Taylor owners right now?
My advice is to bench him. Okay, so sit him down. We talked about this before. Whenever a player holds out and I know he's not holding out, but when a player holds out, they miss 2, 3, 4 weeks of the season, whatever it is. They
Mhm.
come back and then they're terrible, right? The rest of the season, it's
For the most part, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's almost like they can't get up to speed again, right? Same thing here with Jonathan Taylor, but now you complicate things even more with an injury included. So, until
Yeah, Zach
there's-
Moss has been playing pretty well.
he has. He's definitely the guy you want to have on your roster right now, at least for the time being, if you have that opportunity. But until things stabilize in Indy, I say Jonathan Taylor sits on the bench.
Okay, and I think I'm on the same page as you, but my advice is a little different. For Jonathan Taylor owners out there, trade him. Sell high. People are going to want to buy into him right now.
That's true.
Get the best that you can right now. Come next week or the week after, you're not going to be able to get nearly as much for him.
No, yeah, it'll be dropping weekly, and at some point there's gonna be a steep drop off, and you're gonna be out.
Yeah.
So definitely do something with him. I mean, I'm kind of a proponent if he's gonna stay. I mean, because look, if you look at it, he doesn't want to be in Indy. That hasn't changed. We
He
know
does
that.
not.
ESPN reported that already.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't take a snap with Indy this season, but we'll have to see.
And Indy doesn't want to give him a long-term contract. So
Right.
It's a no-win right there. I mean, there's way too much tension, way too much uncertainty there. So,
I mean, the RB1 is Anthony Richardson right now.
Right.
So
yeah.
that'll have an impact as well.
Yeah, so just proceed with caution, I guess, is the big thing. But I say stash him away just in case something happens. You've already been replacing him for the last 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it was, and 4 weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
And so you've already made accommodations for that. So just go with what you've got for right now.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So, all right, Pat Fryermuth. He's doubtful, hamstring injury. So I don't know what you guys have got out there for tight ends, but the tight end field is pretty shallow. Or tight end pool, I should say, is pretty shallow. So I hope you made other arrangements.
Let me see who else. Okay, and not to mention his quarterback Kenny Pickett is doubtful as well.
Yep.
As well as Deontay Johnson's out. So what happened to that offense, man? I mean, it's.
You look back at before the beginning of the season, we weren't really high on Pittsburgh in the first place. But now you got all this pile on.
We did talk about how Pickett may have a really good second year though, but is it going to happen now?
From a fantasy perspective, we weren't suggesting anybody go out and get Steelers players other than maybe Najee, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
And that's even
Yeah,
kind of going by the
Najee isn't
wayside.
really doing much
No.
at all. I stashed Jalen Warren, and I'm hoping he takes over that job come week 9, 10.
It could happen. It
Yeah.
could happen. Could be a lot of changes in Pittsburgh in the
Mhm.
next year or so. Aaron Jones, still healing from his hamstring injury. Not sure whether he's going to be playing this week or not, but I think they're kind of leaning towards him playing this week.
If he does play, you got to play him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and it's hard because that Green Bay offense is not what it used to be. I don't care what we've seen the first 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
that offense is about as bipolar as I've seen
Mm-hmm.
in recent history. It's just ridiculous.
They're super great and they're super bad all at the same game.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Unlike the Bears, who were super bad in every game.
Shut up.
All right, next up, David Montgomery. I wanted to touch on him, not because of an injury thing, but more of from a fantasy perspective.
You got lucky. You got lucky.
Okay, I got lucky, and then I got unlucky this last week.
I know.
So on our fantasy team, the one that Josh and I are both owning this year, we won that one. That's through my work. And then the other 2 leagues, I won on those also. But as it happened, my schedule didn't work out, and I was not able to check the status of Montgomery before the game.
Yeah.
So he wound up on my bench, scoring 39 points. That was awesome.
On our bench.
Yeah, our bench as well. Yes. Scoring 39 points, but yeah, we still won, so that's definitely a good thing.
Absolutely.
But David Montgomery, what is your feel on Montgomery for the rest of the season moving forward?
Honestly, I don't have a clue because I thought by now Jahmyr Gibbs would have been the clear-cut number one. That week 1, they were almost 50-50. I thought it would lean toward Gibbs going forward. I thought Gibbs would be not a bell cow, but maybe 65-35, 60-40. They haven't gotten Gibbs really involved much at all through 4 weeks of the season.
No.
So I don't know. Montgomery could take over that job and be an RB1, but on the other hand, you don't spend a draft pick that high on a running back and then not play him. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, I think it boils down to what Montgomery has for a contract. I don't know what he signed for a contract with them, whether it was a year or I have a feeling it probably was a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his job this year is not only to move Detroit forward, but also to teach.
And to play himself into another bigger contract.
Correct. So that being said, I think they're more building for the future, but when they brought Montgomery on, it was to be the number one running back and to be the bell cow. And they knew what they were going to do in the draft.
Yeah.
They knew it was going to happen. But that being said, I think he's a clear-cut number one right now.
Okay.
After the last 2 weeks, I got to say, or last couple games, I should say, he's a clear-cut number one.
Do you think he's an RB1 not only on Detroit but in fantasy right now?
Fantasy-wise, I think he's going to be probably a low-end. Well, I'm going to go mid-range. I'm going to say a mid-range
Okay.
QB or RB1.
Okay. Rest of the season?
Moving forward, yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I got him as an RB2 going forward, but
the schedule favors them.
they got to play the Bears twice. So.
Exactly. See, my point. Minnesota twice,
Yes.
Green Bay twice, and they already beat Green Bay once. So
Yeah.
I mean, the schedule favors them. Let's be honest.
And he went off against Green Bay, so
they'll probably be playing the Giants as well because the Bears played the Giants, so they'll probably be playing the Giants as well. I don't know that for sure. But
yeah.
there you
Don't
go.
they have to play Philly though, and don't they have to play? Well, Dallas run defense is not any good anyway. So okay, there you go.
So yeah, I see Montgomery being a number one running back. Like I said, mid-tier RB1, probably like anywhere between 5 and 9.
I want to see what happens with him because I want you to be right because I like Montgomery as a player. Okay, but I don't know. I want you to be right. I'll put it to you that way. But I don't necessarily think you will. You will be.
Fair enough. The last one, injury-wise, that I want to talk about is Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh God.
What?
No, that's a big killer for a lot of teams right there.
Oh,
A lot of fantasy
I
teams.
thought you were saying something about, oh my God, I got him. Or
No.
Okay. Anyway.
We got his name right. That's oh my God. So.
All right. So he was pulled from practice today. Again, today is Tuesday when we're recording this. He got pulled from practice today. No explanation given. And it was kind of different that that they were practicing on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I think that's because they had an early game last week, so they had more time in between. So that's probably why. But nonetheless, it's still weird. They pulled him out of off the practice field. Didn't say anything. No injury information that we have as of this time.
Right.
So I don't know what to think of that, to be honest with
I
you.
don't either. And one thing that really boggles my mind, Jameson Williams right now, he's being added in leagues by the thousands across all platforms. I don't think he's going to be a big factor. You know, he hasn't played in damn near 2 years. So.
Right. I don't think so either.
But I don't know why all this hype on Jameson Williams. I really don't. So maybe that Amon-Ra St. Brown injury is more extreme than we thought it would be, but thought it is.
Well, we don't even know if it's an injury, to be honest with you.
Right.
I mean, they didn't say that, but I mean, it may be something else going on there. He may have, I don't know, been,
Pulled an Urban Meyer or something,
or maybe Aaron Rodgers in the locker room, with ayahuasca.
Oh my God.
You never know. Could happen.
You just can't help but say Aaron Rodgers. You said you would say his name as little as possible, and then you bring him up.
I know, but I had it was an easy jab.
Yeah. Now this one last point I want to make, and this is not an injury, but listen to this stat line, guys. Alvin Kamara. Can you believe that? We were looking at the stat lines here. Alvin Kamara caught 13 passes, okay, as a running back. He was a leading receiver in terms of catches for New Orleans. Now, they got blown out, 26-9 or something like that. 13 catches. Now, I would have thought, man, he's got to have 120, 140 yards, something like that. 33 yards on 13 catches with the guy that is explosive out of the backfield, is Alvin Kamara. That's 2.5 yards per catch.
Think about that. He could have got 20 catches and still not broke 75.
He could have got 30 catches and barely hit 75. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah, I've never seen a stat line like that I can ever remember.
Yeah, he did. He must have had a pass for negative yardage or something. They caught him in the backfield or something.
He had to have at least a couple of those because, shoot, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, They
What
can't
was
all
it?
be 3-yard passes,
Yeah,
1-yard
you know what?
passes.
While we're doing that, I'm going to look up and see what his longest was. So
All right.
just,
Yeah, do that.
you know, and you can move us on to the next segment
All
here.
right.
So,
I do want to talk about the next segment. I do want to talk about the Chicago Bears. We're going to look ahead to Thursday night. But before we do that, I want to kind of talk about what happened this last weekend. And
Yes.
did you find the?
his longest was 10. So
10?
that means for 12 catches, he had 23 yards. So less than 2 on those.
Wow.
12 catches, 23 yards without that 10-yarder. So
Wow.
so he had to have had some negative yard catches.
Yeah. Too bad they don't show his shortest.
Right.
But anyway, so the Bears.
Hmm.
Now, ever the optimist when it comes to the Bears, I try to be, right? But
Me too.
but
Me
here's
too.
here's where I'm at. This last week, the offense did not lose the game for them.
No, and that's going back to my beer.
Yep.
Fields
Fields
did his part.
He did.
Okay.
He did. The offense in general did their parts. If you look at the numbers across the board, impressive numbers from all the key positions, from running back, from wide receiver,
And
quarterback.
DJ Moore is turning
tight end.
into the guy we thought he was.
Yes. 100 plus games this season out of 4, so not bad.
Yeah.
I think they're moving in the right direction. The problem is the defense. It's not
What
something
defense, though? I mean, we keep saying that every week. What defense? This is ridiculous, guys.
It's not something that you're used to saying in Chicago. You're usually saying it the other way.
Yes.
Now, going back to my point, the offense didn't lose the game. I know where this is going. Okay, Fields threw an interception.
And they didn't go for it. They didn't go for the field goal.
They didn't go. Yeah.
So
okay, fine. Let me say this: when you're on the football field, you're out there to win, right? Not going for the field goal. Okay, I get it. But you know what? What do you have to lose? You're
Herm
0-3.
Edwards, you play to win the game.
Yes. I mean, what do you do? I mean, you're 0-3. You know what you have as a team, and yet you're still conservative enough to try to tie the game. No, I go for the win.
And I don't fault them for that because they're the last couple drives and most of this year the Bears haven't been able to stop anybody from driving. So I would have probably gone for it too.
And
okay?
Eberflus said this in the post game press conference. He said, we were running the ball well. There was absolutely no doubt in my mind we were going to get that first down.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. Sometimes your gut tells you something, and you got to go with it. If he makes that, if he gets that first down, Eberflus is a hero. But now he's a bum.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Stop. It was not Eberflus that lost the game for us. It was defense. It was completely on the other side of the ball. If you look at the numbers, like I said, Fields 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, only 1 pick at the end of the game. Right? Kmet 7 receptions, 85 yards, 2 TDs.
Yeah.
Moore 131 yards, 8 catches. From a fantasy perspective, that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
1 touchdown on top of that. Khalil Herbert had 103 yards rushing and 1 reception for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, the offense did what they are supposed to do.
Those are starters pretty much those are
across the board.
week winners,
Yep, across the board.
Yes.
I agree. So, from a fantasy perspective, don't get too bent out of shape, or don't get too bent into shape, if you will, about the Bears. Okay, that team that they played was not a good team.
Not at all. They got housed 70 points the previous week.
And if you flip that, the Bears' defense being as bad as it was, Denver's numbers were not that good.
No.
So looking at it from that perspective, also, don't be too gung-ho about Denver players, Jerry Jeudy. Like I have on my team, Jerry Jeudy.
Yes.
But not anybody in particular, Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy. But
I'm high on Jerry Jeudy. You know I am.
I know you are. But you're also high on Darren Waller, but that's fine.
Well, I did make a big trade this week.
You did. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
All right.
I'm actually really, really happy about this trade. Now, there was a guy in my league who wanted Lockett. Now, I like Lockett, as a compliment to Chase, but I think he's on a level playing field with Jerry Jeudy, okay? So I offered up Tyler Lockett, Breece Hall, who we are high on going into this year, but I just don't think it's going to happen with the way that offense is going. So Tyler Lockett, Breece Hall. So I'm getting back Jeudy, who I think is pretty much equal to Tyler Lockett, in my opinion. I know you think Lockett's a little better.
No, actually, I think Judy's a little bit better, to be honest with you.
Do you really?
Yeah, I just don't like the situation that Judy's in.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But the kicker for me was Josh Jacobs, guys. I mean, I think he's the buy low candidate right now.
Yes.
I think he's going to just explode going
Yep.
forward. So
Yep,
I'm
I
super
agree.
happy about that, to pick up Jacobs as a compliment to Kyron.
Good trade. Give me some knuckles on
Thank
that. It
you.
was a
He
good
doesn't
trade.
say that to me about once every couple years,
No,
guys.
if
So
you're getting Josh Jacobs, you're winning that trade. I don't care who you are.
yeah.
So anyway, no, I think that's a great trade. Let's talk about the other trade too. That you know what, we never did do Gub.
We'll do Gub now.
All right.
You want to do Gub?
Yeah, since we're on that subject, we're going to talk about Gub real quick. And Josh, tell him what's got us bent.
What's got us bent, guys, is trade etiquette. Now, we're going to go into depth on this a little bit. Trade etiquette. I'm not going to call out any names or anything or any of the leagues that I'm in.
I will. I know. Go ahead.
If you offer up a trade to somebody, you know, they're thinking the same thing you are. You know, is this going to improve my team? They may think it will and accept the trade, or they may think it will not and they'll reject the trade. It's up to them whether they accept or reject. Fine, either way. So if somebody rejects your trade and you're not happy that they didn't trade with you, you don't have to try to belittle them and mock them in group threads or on the league page just because they don't have the same thoughts as you. Okay?
Yeah, just let it
I mean,
go,
that's completely uncalled for.
Yeah, it's unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah.
I don't know what the signal for unsportsmanlike conduct is. I think you got to hold one hand.
Isn't it unsportsmanlike conduct?
Unsportsmanlike. How's that for unsportsmanlike conduct?
That's even better. Why do your hands smell like sausages?
Never mind. We're not talking about that. Anyway, no, I agree. You should let it go. And yeah, you can be upset about not getting the trade done, whatever, but just use a little bit more etiquette when you do that. And
Yeah.
the other thing too, talking about trade etiquette, people that offer you trades and then you want to try to tweak the trade. If I get a trade offer, unless it's golden, I'm going to try to finagle something, try to get some more out of it or get better value. And the other person should be able to do the same thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So somebody offers you a trade, you start talking to them, then you ask for some, and the negotiation starts, and then all of a sudden their interest completely falls off the table. You go back to the original trade that they offered, and they say no. So they never actually planned to trade? Is that they never intended to
That's
trade?
what it sounds like to me.
Okay. Just curious, because I've had that happen to me. I'm not going to mention any names. Josh knows who I'm talking about, don't you, Josh?
Yeah, and I've had that happen to me too. And
It's not
I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I do. But that's not the point.
that's not the point.
That's what's got us bent, though. Yeah, when you want to trade with somebody, trading is hard in fantasy football. It really is.
It's damn near impossible.
Yeah, it's very, very hard. If somebody comes to you with a trade, be open-minded. Make sure that, you're getting your value, but make sure that they're getting value back, okay? And make it a fair trade. If there's tons of websites and apps and everything you can use to evaluate the fairness of a trade. If you have one opinion about it, somebody else has another, throw it in there and see, hey, you know what? It's pretty fair trade, or it's lopsided or whatever, and then adjust from there. But at least have some etiquette about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we do want to remind you guys, once again, to subscribe, and share.
Subscribe, and share.
Please do that. Get us out there. We want to help you guys with your fantasy teams. Obviously, we're not perfect at fantasy football. We would have a much more...
I think we're the opposite of perfect.
Well, I wouldn't say the opposite, but
Maybe.
pretty close.
Pretty close. Yeah,
In-
pretty
in-
close.
In the other direction more than the perfect. But
Yes.
But yeah, definitely, we want to help you guys out. You know what they say? It takes a village to win a fantasy football league.
That's okay.
Right?
I'm gonna just agree with you to
okay,
agree
yeah.
with you. Yes,
Right.
guys, it takes a village.
Perfect. Yep. Takes a village to win a fantasy football league. That's why you wanted me to help you out this year. That's awesome. So anyway, yeah, please do subscribe, and share, though. We would really appreciate it from you guys.
Absolutely.
You have anything that you want to say to our fans? Or
I think we got one new subscriber, or they said they were going to subscribe, so we'll have to check. I haven't checked in the last day, so.
But we are watching.
Yes, we are watching you.
Okay. Well, I guess there's nothing left to say except get bent.
We didn't do WOMF.
We didn't do WOMP. We were going to do WOMP?
Yes, I filled them all out. All right, let's do WOMP.
All right, let's do
All
WOMP.
right, we don't even need to edit then, so.
Yeah, don't get bent. Not yet. Don't get bent yet. Okay.
All right, so I filled them out. You went first last week. Now, recap of last week.
Find the list. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I thought that was a given. Okay, anyway, Alan went 2 and 3. I went 4-1. Now that's not gonna last, so I'm gonna freaking pat myself on the back as long as I can right now. But I'm gonna go first this week. Now we're just going back to the regular. You can pick one, either over, under, or spread.
Okay.
All right, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna go over, under, or spread. So there's some good games in here. I did put the Bears game in here, so Washington and the Bears. So oh my God, I think this might be it.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, good. Oh my God, New York Jets versus Miami, -11. Miami and over 50. I'm taking the over 50. I'm not touching the spread because until Miami scores under 50 in a game of theirs, it was 68 last week, 90 the week before. So I'm gonna take the over 50.
Okay.
Can't do it.
All right. I don't want the pink one, obviously. So. Oh, so near yet, so far away.
I think it's the pink one is the Bears, but we'll find out.
Let's see. We've got Jacksonville and Buffalo.
Oh.
Ooh, let's see.
What is Buffalo favored by the way?
Buffalo's not favored. No, I'm just kidding. 5.5.
Okay.
And the over/under is 48.5. Oh,
That's
man.
a tough one because Jacksonville has not been as explosive as we thought.
Man, yeah, I know. It's right there though. I know it is, but Buffalo's a tough defense too. I'm gonna take. Man, I'm gonna take Buffalo in the 5.5.
Okay, Buffalo -5.5. I would have done that too. After they just shellacked that Miami offense who put up 70, they beat them by 4 touchdowns, guys.
They did.
So, by the way, I was watching ESPN or one of those other sports channels, whatever. But that was the biggest 2-game point differential in the history of the NFL, 78 points. So they won by 50 the week before. They lost by 28 the following week. So that is a first. I don't know if that'll ever be beaten.
That's an awesome, useless fact. Thanks, Josh.
Yes.
All right.
I have a lot of those, by the way. All right, let's see if I can get the Bears here.
Oh, boo. Oh.
All right, I hope this isn't the Bears.
Oh.
Tennessee versus Indianapolis. Indy's -1. I'm not going to touch either side of that. I'll just take the over 42.5. I'm assuming Richardson's going to play, so.
You know what? The little rubber things is missing off this. Did you spin this too hard?
Dude, I lost that last year, remember? And you gave me a hard time about it, so.
Uh-oh.
That's the green.
Let's see what we got.
It's a green kid.
Cincinnati versus Arizona.
Oh, God. Oh,
Cincinnati's
no.
favored by 3 and 44.5 for the over/under. Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here because I don't think this is going to happen, but I'm going to go with it. This is going to be my bent prediction for this week.
Okay.
Cincinnati and I'll take the over on it. 44.5. That's what I'll
Okay.
do. That's what I'll do.
I don't know if they played each other 4 times that they could get over 44.5 combined. So
Nah,
based
it'll
on those
happen.
offenses right now,
It'll
but
happen. Hey, your team is just the team to straighten Cincinnati's offense.
I know. Well, we did beat the Cowboys pretty. Okay,
Will you-
third time's the charm.
Will you stop spinning? It's the same one.
It's the orange kid.
Uh-oh.
Philadelphia versus the Rams +4 over 50.5. I'm gonna do Philly minus the 4.
Okay.
Philly's just playing too damn good right now, even though they almost lost to Washington.
They are. I agree.
The other green one. God, one of us is gonna land on the Chicago Bears game and
Dallas and San Francisco.
ooh.
The Sunday night game, I believe, isn't it? Or Monday night? Is it Monday night?
I was hoping I would have landed on that one because I got some thoughts on that game.
And,
So
wowzers. See, 45 is the over/under on that. I'm gonna take the under on that.
are you?
Yeah.
That's not a bad call because San
I
Fran's
like that.
defense is
Well, both defenses are
so Dallas under 45, right?
45 over/under. Yeah.
Yeah, under 45.
Yeah, but I don't need Dallas in there. She's under 45.
Well, I gotta know which game you're picking.
Okay. You must know. Oh,
Ooh.
there it is.
Pinky
Chicago
in the
Bears.
brain. What do you want to do
Chicago
tonight,
Bears.
brain?
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh God, yeah. Chicago, Washington. Washington 6.5 point favorite. I'm not going to touch that over under. I'll take Chicago plus the 6.5. I think Fields is Fields looked really good, and I hope he continues to look good.
I like that.
Washington does not do well against running quarterbacks. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I think Fields can really open it up.
I like that. I like
Chicago may even get their first win this week, guys.
that. Don't you bite your tongue. Don't you ever say that again. All right. We have what? 2
Don't
left.
you ever wish
3
my
left.
favorite team to win a game.
That's right. You have 3 left. Oh, look at that. It stopped right on the
Oh
yellow.
my gosh.
Wow.
That was like a Tokyo Drift right there.
It was. New Orleans and New England.
Oh, gross.
The news.
Yes.
The battle of the news. New Orleans, New England. Holy crap. What's the over-under on that? 'Cause this is terrible.
11.
Probably. It's 40, though, surprisingly. I would guess, like you said, maybe 11. I'm going to go with the
What's New England favored by?
1.5.
Oh God, and they're at home. That's
Yeah,
that's
no.
even
No,
grosser.
yeah, I don't want to see that either. I'm gonna go with the under on the 40.
40. Okay, that's not a bad call, man. So
That's the best of my options, I think.
yeah. Or you could have been on Kamara to get
Oh, look at
17 catches for
Oh, look at
26 yards. All right, let's see what this one is. Carolina, Detroit. Detroit -9, 45. I'm gonna go the over 45, guys. I picked Detroit this week in my Survivor double elimination. I got 1 strike already, so I think I need Detroit to really pull this one out.
You went with the over?
Over 45.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would have done. All right,
Oh, great. Now I get to switch my
let's
pick.
see. Oh, look at that! It stopped right on the
That would have been
green
so
one.
funny if you would have like busted your knuckle open or something.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been funny, Josh. Why do you wish pain on me? All right, Houston versus Atlanta.
Oh God, that's even worse than the New Orleans, New England.
Can I spin again? Oh man, it's the last one. Well, I have to break the wheel.
Can we learn what the numbers are?
Atlanta,
or-
I'm working on this. Atlanta's favored by 2.
At home?
Yeah. Let's go with. I'm going to take. Crap.
What's the over under again?
41.5.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards that. Man.
So 1.5, 41.5.
Yeah, no, 2 and 41.5.
2 and 41.5.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what? I'll go with Atlanta and the 2 points.
Minus the 2?
Yep. I'll take it.
Okay. You could flip a coin and I would
Exactly.
say, okay, I'll take it.
Exactly.
So anyway.
My thoughts exactly. So.
All right, so there we go. So we'll see how good or how bad we did last week. There were some real snoozers, real shitty games this week,
Yeah,
weren't there?
there was some bad ones. There's some good ones though too. Yeah.
That Miami one, I think for the time being, I don't think we're ever going to pick against under in a Miami game until they really show that.
Yeah,
you
until
know?
they show that they can score very little points.
Yes.
Or they can give up very little points.
Yeah.
However,
Well, they
whatever case
beat
may
the
be.
over by 18 points last week, or 15 points last week, and about 36 points the week before. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, you look back and you go, why didn't I see that coming? Why didn't I see, Miami being that juggernaut offense? I mean, you look at the AFC, man. They got Miami, you've got Kansas City, you've got Buffalo. I'm gonna even include Cincinnati in that mix.
I still want to include Cincinnati, but if a couple more weeks go by and they're stagnant, I'm going to take them out of there.
Yeah,
So
I would agree that.
yeah, Chargers are really airing it
as
out
well,
too, man. Yeah.
absolutely. They get Eckler back, and they're gonna be tough, man.
You can't say that about the NFC. You got Philadelphia, San Francisco, and everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, you got it's the tale of two conferences, right?
Yeah.
So you got all the good teams in the AFC, and you got the Bears. You've got and I like the Lions. I would almost include them in that. But anyway,
The Vikings.
you've got the Bears, the Vikings, who else?
Giants.
The Giant. Oh my gosh, the Giants are
The
terrible.
Cardinals.
I wasn't gonna say it, but
Yeah.
since you
Well, you
mentioned
have to say it if you're being honest.
All right. Well, I'm being honest. Cardinals
Okay.
suck.
All right. Yeah.
All
Oh
right.
God. Duh.
And the Rams, not as good either. I mean, they're getting some breaks, but
They're putting up some good fantasy numbers though.
from a
but-
fantasy perspective, yeah.
But from if I was a fan, I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, two totally opposite conferences. It's really,
Yes.
really weird.
Yes.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else. Do you?
No.
I mean, I sat up all night trying to think of stuff and wrote stuff down and I wrote that too.
Oh, you did.
Get bent.
Oh, we forgot to do the WOMF. Just kidding. No, we didn't. I'm just seeing if his memory's still there. But guys, get bent.
On fantasy football.